Hey there, and welcome back to Northlight Photographic Workshops. I'm Bill Schwab, and I'm here in the photo stock workshop today. We're not going to be going out on the road like we have been doing today because I need to pay some bills. I'm going to be inviting you today to hang over my shoulder while I package up some prints that have been sold recently. I had a print offer recently that did quite well, and I'm very happy for that and very thankful to all the people that support me through my print sales. Anyway, I have to get to shipping them out. The last couple of weeks I've been printing them, and there's even a little bit of a video clip of me working on these if you want to see up here right now. It's a video that deals with a flat tire too, so if you go through halfway through, you're going to see me going through the printing process of these in the darkroom. It's not an instructional video. I have an instructional video out there if you want to see that, and you can see that link up here right now, and that will take you through step by step of making your own platinum print. But today what I'm going to do is take you step by step through my packaging process and my preparation of the prints for packaging and shipping them out to the clients. So anyway, what I'm going to do is invite you to hang over my shoulder while I do this, and I do this to kind of show you what it is that I go through as a photographer. I mean, there's so many different things that we do as being photographers that are not camera related. I mean, unless you're like a household name in photography and very well collected and can have somebody that fulfills these things for you, you have to do this all yourself. And so what I'm trying to show you that there's a lot more to being something than just hanging out a shingle saying you are. I mean, it's a day in, day out job for me. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I come out here to the studio just like anybody that goes to their job. And this is just showing you one more aspect of what is involved in doing what it is we do as photographers. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process. I mean, each one of my prints that goes out gets inspected by me. Even though I've printed it myself, sometimes I don't look at them close enough. And what I do is go over them with a fine-tooth comb so that I can see if there's any blemishes or any problems with them. If there are, many of them I can fix through spotting, and others I will discard the print and not use it. Now, once a print has been accepted by me, I will go through and I will stamp my seal on it. And what that is a printer's chop mark that I have. It's a small embossing machine that gives my Northlight Photographic Workshops printing embossing on there. And every print that's made in this studio that's allowed to go out, I now put that printer's mark on them, be it a handmade print or be it a digitally printed photograph. All of them get that mark. So I'll be showing you how I do that today. Each print goes out with a provenance. I have a signed provenance that goes out stating the original, the origin of the print, so that people in the future, if they want to sell the print or if I'm fortunate sometime in the future somebody is collecting this work, they can see where the origin of that piece of work was and that they got it directly from me. Now there's also a seal that I press into that's my company, Northlight Press Seal. I'll be doing that, and then I have to package them up in the packaging material that I use. So anyway, I'll take you through and I'll show you how I do all that. Now, if you're somebody that's purchased one of my prints before, you'll see kind of what I go through to do this. I really appreciate your purchase of my print. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be in all of your collections. But this will give you an idea, again, of the care and things that I go through in sending these prints out. So anyway, without further ado, we'll get to it. I'll explain little bits about the process as I'm going along. Some of it will just be quiet. Maybe I'll run a little music in the background, something like that. But in any event, I invite you to hang out with me for a little while today in the studio. And who knows, later on I might continue a video that I've been working on outside in the fall. The autumn color is still really screaming around here, and even though we're past peak and a lot of the leaves are starting to come down, it's still really gorgeous out there, and I tell you, it's calling me right now. So I think you can see out the window behind me, it's looking pretty nice. But anyway, so let's get on with this, and thanks for watching, thanks for purchasing the prints and all of that. So here we go. These are the prints that I've made here, and what I'm going to do first is go through my my inspection process. Now, in doing that inspection process, I like to use a magnifying glass. Now, I use these here. These are a visor that are very kind of powerful, but I don't think I really need that at this point. Another thing that I like to use here is just a plain old magnifying glass that you can see here. Now, what I do is I kind of go over the prints that way and I look to see if there's any blemishes or if there's any white spots or anything like that. Now, white spots traditionally are dust spots. They're not that big of a deal, and I can use a little bit of watercolor to paint them in, and you'll never even notice that they were there. And on this one right now, I do notice that there are a couple of small spots on here, so I'll be taking care of those here before I package this up, but otherwise it's a really beautiful print. And so anyway, what I'm going to do is go through these bit by bit, and I'm going to put that over there. That needs to be respotted a little bit. Now what I'm noticing is there's a little piece of dust in each one of them at the same spot. So it's obviously in the negative, and I'm just going to have to go back and spot that out. Once again, nobody on the other end will know that this is there. So anyway, all of these that I'm looking at, those need to be spotted. Now this is a different print, and this is very clean. I'm very happy with that. So this one is not going to need to be spotted. So I'm going to put that over on this pile. And once again, I've got another one of those here. So I'll put that over here. And again, yeah, this was a real clean negative. And I'm real happy with it. So really nothing need to be done on those. Now these prints here, these are a couple of special images that were ordered by a specific client. These weren't part of the order, but I'm going to ship these off today as well. So, and again, these I was very careful with when I printed, and they are not in any need of any spotting. So they're going to be fine. Very nice. Okay, so now these prints here, these are larger ones that were ordered. I'm going to get to those a little bit later, so I'm just going to leave those off to the side. Now what I'm going to do next is show you kind of my, just a little bit, you can hang over my shoulder a little bit while I spot these few prints here. I'll spot one of them so that you can see. In another video I'll go along with spotting so that you can actually see it a little bit more clear. But I'll get to that right now. And I'll bring the camera in a little bit closer so that you can see what I'm doing. Here we go, I'm all set up here. And what I've got here is my spotting brush. Now, spotting brush, this is a 00 brush. It's a very fine brush that I use to paint into these tiny dust spots that I have on here. Now, this sheet of paper here, this is my matching sheet. This is where I use, and I tend to go on here and I use my brush, and I'll brush it out here to mix my colors so that they match the print and they match the value of the print as well. So that's what this sheet is here. Again, my brush. And then what I have here are my Marshall's watercolors. Now what I do is I take a drop of each one that I use, usually the sepia and a yellow and a blue and a black, and I drop them here and I let them dry out. And then what I do is I put some water in one of these, and then with my brush, I go and I take a little bit of water and dab it out, and then I can go into each one of the colors here and mix and match those colors and bring them over here to my mixing sheet, to my matching sheet, and get them all set up before I go over here to the print and I put them in. So that's just basically explaining you my tools here that I use for spotting my prints. Now these watercolors are permanent on these prints. They'll last forever, and unless these prints get washed or something like that. But what it does, and to explain better of what I'm doing, is if you've got a little tiny dust spot like I have right here, what that will do is it actually takes that print and it changes it from something that in your mind is a beautiful three-dimensional kind of an image, and it will make it two-dimensional. You know, it will make it just a flat piece of paper. And it's pretty amazing what happens when you have dust spots on a print and then you take them away, is it takes that print and it makes it takes it from being just a two-dimensional object, and it lets your mind open up and see it as a three-dimensional scene, that kind of thing. So anyway, let's get down to this now. I'm going to set the camera back over here, and you can just kind of watch me spot while I'm doing it. Again, I'll go through this more in detail in another video, but for now, this will suffice. I've got my brush, I've got my solution, a little bit of water here, and my dried watercolors here to choose from. And I've got my spots I need to take care of, and I'm going to do it. So first thing I do here is take my brush and just dab it into the water bay a little bit and get a little bit wet, and then I just drag it over here onto this piece of paper to kind of take away a lot of the excess water. And then I go in and I grab my colors. Now normally I use a little bit of a brown and a little bit of a black to match these prints. And I'll drag this across my match print here, and there I am. I think I'm on the color. I come over here. I'm wearing my magnifier now. You can't see that in the frame right now, but I'm wearing my magnifying glasses. And I'm going in for this spot. And there it's gone. Another one here. Now what I'm doing is I'm going right into the center of the spot. I have my magnifiers on so I can really see the spot large, and I'm taking this very fine point of the brush and I'm getting right to the center of that spot. and painting outward. Doesn't take much at all. There's one right there. Gone. And that's it. This print is done and beautiful. So then what I do is I take that print and I finish it out completely by flipping it over. And then I put my title on there, and this one is a salmon farm in Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands. And this was done in 2015. So I always date the print in the title the year that the negative was made. And then I'll go down below and I'll sign it. And what I'll do once I sign it is I put the printed date on there. 2020. So, and that print's ready to go. Usually what I'll do also up here in the upper right is I'll put the process. And this is a palladium print. So there we go. Now it's on to packaging this up and mailing it out. So what I like to do is put these prints into clear bags. Now you can find these at clearbags.com. I'll put the link down below here. I've been using these again for years, and a lot of photographers, artists, and printmakers use these. They're pre-sized to fit the print. They slide right down in there. And later on, once I've printed out and put the provenance into this package, I will seal this up, and then we'll go on to packaging from there. What I do next in the process of my shipping is I come over here to the computer and basically have a provenance form that's already set up in my Word program, my word processing program. And what I do is I have in the provenance, it basically says what the print is, what year it was made, what year the print was made, the type of paper it's on, the process, the size, that kind of thing. Then there's basically an explanation saying that this was made in my studio by my hand, and it goes on down. It's a place for me to sign. I sign in there, and then I also put a seal on this once I've printed it out. Now these I print out on some nice cotton paper so that they'll last a long time. And hopefully this will come in handy not only for the client in the future for reference of where their print came from, but it will also give me an idea in the future of where these went. It's a database for me, so I know who has that because I put the person's name in here. So basically, it doesn't really track the print, but it lets me know that that print was made and that print went out there and that print went to this person. So anyway, so once I figured that all out, I get on here and I print it out. So everything looks good. I'm doing the Command P, and I'm going to run it out here to my printer. Okay, so now that I've got my provenance printed out and my print ready to go, it's time to sign this. And then once I've signed it, I've got this other embosser here, which has my business on there, Northlight Press. And this is the seal that I use on the provenance once I've got it signed and it's ready to ship out. So basically, I use an ink pen on this one. I sign, basically to read this out to you. It says, "Hello and thank you for your purchase of Salmon Farm, Faroe Islands. Your original print has been personally made by me in the darkroom. It is a platinum print made in autumn of 2020. Basically says that it comes ready to mount and that any framer will know how to handle it, that kind of thing. So anyway, once that's done, and I take my seal, I place it in the corner, and then I like to fold it over nicely and take it and slide it in behind the print that's already been signed and prepared. Once I do that, I peel off the glue strip, put it closed, and it's ready to go. So once I've done that, I then take my packaging, I place it in the packaging. Another thing that I like to do with certain clients that have been repeat clients and repeat supporters over the time is sometimes I'll put a little gift in here, a little gift print or a sticker from the area or that kind of a thing. This is a very good client of mine, and I am going to stick in something extra for them, a small little Polaroid that I've made. Kind of gives a little one-of-a-kind gift to those people that have been repeat customers. Now, That's a good thing to do. I'm just giving you a tip on that. It's a good thing to do because people really like that, and I really like doing that for people because a lot of these people have been following me for years, and there's certain things that I know they like, and I'll gift them a little something if they've purchased another print from me. So anyway, once that's done, I package that up, and we'll get some tape on that. Should have been more prepared. So I have my print in there. We'll take and seal it up. And then I'll take it into one of my priority mail flat rate. That's how I mail most of these. And I will seal that shut. And now it is time to make the mailing label. So let's go do that. So here we are over at the computer again, and for my shipping I like to use USPS.com, the Postal Service, US Postal Service. Now they have a really good website for doing these kind of things, especially for domestic mail. It's very easy for me to do this right at my own computer here at home out in the middle of the woods. I can print out my label, I can pay for it through my PayPal account, and everything's taken care of without me having to do anything but go to the post box and drop it in there. So I go in here and I take out the client information from my website where my orders have come through, and then I take the person's name and address and I copy it over to, I'm hoping you can't see these people's names here, and if you can I'll be fuzzing it out. Anyway, so I come over here and I plug in all my information into the website. And then I'll print out my postage, and then I'll take it over and we'll tape it on the package and we'll take it to the post office. Once I have that all printed out, I bring it over here to my paper cutter and I cut it up, and I keep this. This is my receipt for my mailing, and this way I have the tracking information, and I can make sure if something gets lost in the mail that I have some tracking information. And then I just trim down the rest of the label, make it nice and neat. It's really important that your packaging look neat, because you don't want it to look like it came from some fly-by-night organization. Anyway, so I put my labels on. I tape it on good. And what I like to also do is put one more strip of tape along up here just to kind of make sure that it stays closed. And there we go. It's all ready to go. This one's going off to Pennsylvania. So now we're going to take it over to the post office. Come on for a ride with me. It's beautiful out there. All right, it's time to go. Sorry, Curtis, you got to stay here. I'm just going for a short run. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Well, hey, he's protesting. Time to hit the trail. Take you out into the world. We are just getting into town. Only about 5 minutes away from my place. And welcome to the tiny town of Cross Village. So welcome here to our little town of Cross Village, and this over here is our post office, and this is where all of my prints get mailed. So if you ever order anything from me, you know where it's coming from. So that's it. I'd like to thank you for coming along with me for today and hanging out over my shoulder. And you know, I hope I wasn't too boring today, but it does give you an idea of what happens here and what happens when I get a print order, and you know, the things that I go through when I'm not clicking my camera. So anyway, it's good to have you along. Hope you've had a good day. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe tell a friend. I've been having a lot of fun lately, and glad you've been coming along. So take care. See you later.